Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. I just rolled out of bed, but that is no excuse to ignore the call of Konami. We've got 2 new YUBEL cards here today. We're going to go over them. We're going to take a look at how they do. I like the artwork on this guy. This guy, I believe, looks like a retrain of Grave Squirmer. I think is an old Fiend card, but I think they're retraining it. May have been used by YUBEL in the anime. I have no idea, but that makes sense to me. And then another field spell for YUBEL as well. So hopefully this stuff is good. This is not something we normally see. We normally don't get follow-up support for cover art legacy support from like previous sets. It just doesn't work that way. But this is cool to see because, like, you know, a lot of times the cover art support is like not competitive, and so maybe this set kind of sets the tone for things going forward, where, you know, we get next set and it's revealed and it's legacy support for whatever it is, and then the next set we get 2 more cards, and that's the difference between making it, you know, a legit rogue deck. You know, look at Blackwings. Blackwings are actually like getting some tops here and there, and they're just one of these cover art archetypes, which is cool. So I'd like to see more of that, but we'll see. All right, let's jump into this thing though. We're gonna start with Hellgrave Squirmer. That's not going to stay. Infernal sounds like it could be the better name for the TCG. Is a level 1 Dark Fiend effect monster. 0/0 for the stats. First and second effects are hard ones for turn. First effect, if you control a Fiend monster, quick effect. You can special summon this card from the hand, then you can destroy 1 monster you control that is YUBEL or mentions it. Okay. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon a Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense from your hand or graveyard, except for Infernal Grave Squirmer. This card's just good. Like, am I crazy? This card's just a good extender. And correct me if I'm wrong, this card could potentially just be a good generic extender too. The first effect has a you can destroy a YUBEL. It does not have to destroy something you control, so it does not like make this unusable in just any Fiend deck. This card does just say, if you control a Fiend, quick effect, plop this on the field. And for, I don't know, something like Unchained, which took hits on the ban list, maybe this is an extender they can use. I know most of their in-archetype stuff doesn't have 0 attack and defense. That's going to be the bigger question, I think, overall. Is the second effect, because you really do want to maximize this card's value, which means you'd want to play in a deck where you can banish it to special summon a Fiend with 0 attack, 0 defense. But that's not terrible, like, honestly. So, and even in YUBEL, I think this seems pretty good. A deck that I probably took as like relatively low ceiling. This definitely helps extend into more stuff, potentially even to play an Unchained Engine in the deck, because I know just from the YUBEL cards, you end up with a handful of monsters that are 0 attack, 0 defense. The not Phantom Beasts, the Sacred Beast cards, all of their main deck monsters are 0 attack, 0 defense. So Dark Beckoning Beast, more stuff I have it pulled up on my phone here. 0 attack, 0 defense cards. Absolute King Backjack is an interesting one. So that way, like, you could basically, with this card in Backjack in hand, set up the Unchained play that's going to have like the Link to Engrave, Rage on the field, and a trap, while also getting to set up another trap with Backjack, all just off of these 2 cards, which is a pretty good amount of value. And I think the last one of intrigue is Ku Klok. Again, another Fiend deck. You could just maybe even play this card in them. They're already kind of shifting closer and closer to like more of a mid-range build than like a straight-up control stun build. And they have a 0/0 in their deck, so maybe this could also be useful there. I mean, Ku Klok already gets itself back, so like I don't know how useful this is, but it's there. So cool. I think it's just a good card, and it could potentially come up in other Fiend decks as well. All right, next up we have the field spell. This is Nightmare Throne. It's a field spell. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. When this card resolves, you can take a Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense and either add it to your hand or destroy it. So this gives you the potential to just destroy any of these level 1s that I can see on this list straight from the deck and potentially proc an effect, or you just get to add it, which, like I already talked about, this searches backcheck, this searches the extender, the guy above, this searches basically the entire Sacred Beast main deck lineup, so just one card. This is just more consistency to get Dark Beckoning Beast, and into those lines. Cap Shell's here too. Coup Clock is another searchable target. There's definitely some utility here for sure. And then of course the YUBEL cards. I don't want to keep going to the generic stuff. I just know more about generic Fiend stuff because I messed around with like a Fiend pile deck a while ago. So I just know it a little bit better. I just don't know too much about the YUBEL support. I read it when it came out, but I haven't looked at it since, basically. But still, this has to be searching most of the YUBEL cards you want anyway in the archetype, so this seems really good. And then for the second effect, once per turn, if a YUBEL monster you control leaves the field by card effect, you can add to your hand one of your YUBEL monsters that's banished or in your deck or graveyard. So basically anywhere. And is one original level higher or lower than the monster that left the field, then you can special summon the added monster, ignoring its summoning conditions. Whoa! Okay, so this is huge because I remember one of the problems with the YUBEL stuff is that they have these like bigger forms of YUBEL, but they could never summon them. Now, I don't know if they're actually good enough because I've not read closely on them. Maybe this card is the type of card where you could play one copy of those cards that's like better, or maybe, you know, in this, or even if you already play it, you may already play it, I don't know. This just makes it way easier to do because now this card plus ones you into this guy. If you already could summon one of the YUBELs, then this guy can pop the YUBEL when he summons to trigger this. So this is like already on the field and it's searched him. Then you pop, or if you have him, you could search a regular YUBEL as long as you can get it on field. Pops a YUBEL, then this can go ahead and add and special a YUBEL with a higher level, and then this guy can still reborn the original YUBEL that you popped with him in the first place to get that back. That seems pretty cool. I think the only weird part about it is that some of the... Wait, let me check. Oh, they're not. Okay, cool. I was thinking because they have the new Samsara Lotus card, also a Fiend. I was worried that it's still a plant, but it's actually still a Fiend, and it's 0/0. So this card also searches your best starter normal summon on top of what seems to be now your best extender. These cards are kind of nice. Like, am I crazy? Again, I don't know that much about the YUBEL archetype. Correct me if I'm wrong if you actually like have been on it and been messing with it. If you know how nice the deck was and how much this actually propels them, this seems like it actually pushes them pretty decently. And then on top of that, if you mess around with Labyrinth, Unchained, any of those Fiend type decks, let me know your thoughts down below as like a generic engine, because this field spell could see play. This card just searches Coup Clock. This card just searches Backjack for Labyrinth, or searches this extender. That could be enough utility, because if you open any of those three, not any of those three, but if you open this field spell with like basically any normal summonable Fiend, Squirmer himself already does help you extend into like the Unchained lines, which is actually helpful. Very curious, very, very excited to see what people do with these. I actually think these cards are kind of cool, and I actually think I'm going to pick them up. But let me know your thoughts down below. Sorry I've gone a little bit long on these. It feels like there's way more than just what's on the surface for these cards in terms of where they could end up having potential. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching as always. Let me know your thoughts down below here, how this pertains to YUBEL or how this pertains to some of the Fiend decks out there already. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But I'm out of here for today. I think this leaves us with 19 slots remaining. Don't quote me on that, but around 20. You know, we're 17 days away from the set straight up coming out, so we're about on pace, you know. So expect little drops here and there, one card here, one card there. That's kind of what I'm expecting going forward, but I'll keep you updated on any new cards that drop and fill you in on what we got. So I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace.